Good afternoon. You're here? All right, good afternoon. I would like to welcome you to the 38th Annual National Night Out Kickoff Celebration. And before we get started with the program, I would like to invite Reverend John Gable he's a senior pastor here at Tabernacle Presbyterian Church, to say some words and thank him for welcoming us to his house.
Thank you so much. It is a joy and a privilege for us to have you at TAB today. TAB has been in this city for 170 years, in this community, at this location for 100 years, and we want to be good neighbors. And so we, on behalf of our church family, want to thank each of you for all that you do to care for us and to serve us, and we pray that we'll be able to serve you as well. Again, thank you for the honor that you've given to us by being with us today. God's blessings.
Yeah, thank you. National Night Out is being celebrated across the United States tonight, and United States residents, law enforcement, civic groups, businesses, and neighborhood organizations from all over 16,000 communities, and they just get together to send out the message that the communities are taking back the streets. The Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department is extremely grateful for the consistent support and the partnership with the Indianapolis communities, and we feel that every day. Through our Crime Watch groups, we have been able to establish important partnerships with the Indianapolis community that not only have been key in preventing and reducing crime more effectively, but also have been essential to analyze problems and to design and implement solutions that are truly effective and community-based. And we're here to celebrate and honor those residents who have gone above and beyond serving their communities. And before we announce the Crime Fighter of the Year, the Crime Fighter of the Year recipients for each district, I would like to introduce our first speaker, the mayor of our great city of Indianapolis, the Honorable Mayor Joe Hudson.
Well, good afternoon. Isn't it such a wonderful and encouraging sign that we are once again in person for our 38th year of National Night Out and the events surrounding it. I'm looking so forward to this ceremony today, and obviously some good food and fellowship tonight. The weather promises to be enjoyable, so I would encourage everyone to take some time and really celebrate our neighborhoods, celebrate our Crime Watch groups, celebrate the men and the women of IMPD and public safety who put on the uniform every day and swear to protect and serve us. We can never thank them enough. And it is in that spirit that I look forward to enjoying these events. It's a fantastic way for the police and for our community to share positive experiences with one another. And frankly, that is more important now than perhaps ever before. To acknowledge the importance of the goal of the National Night Out and what it represents, it's my honor as mayor to present the following proclamation on behalf of the city. Now, it won't surprise you to hear me say, being mayor has its upsides and its downsides. But one really, really nice thing about being mayor is that you get to memorialize events like National Night Out. And I always consider proclamations, if they were put in chronological order, really kind of serve as a history of our city, because they identify the people, the places, the events, the organizations, the celebrations that make Indianapolis the special place that it is. So, with no further ado, and I'll try to be as brief as possible in this proclamation in reading it to you. 38th National Night Out is an opportunity for the city of Indianapolis to join forces with thousands of communities across the country. It was first introduced in August of 1984, and it already has established over these years a network of law enforcement agencies, neighborhood watch groups, civic groups, state and regional crime prevention organizations all across America. The event now involves 38 million neighbors across 16,000 communities in all 50 states, and including U.S. territories, Canadian cities, and military bases worldwide. The event aims to increase community building efforts and promote safer neighborhoods by strengthening the relationship between neighbors and law enforcement. Doing so provides a unique opportunity to bring police and neighbors together under positive circumstances, highlighting the truest sense of community. It's essential that all Indianapolis residents are aware of the importance of crime prevention programs in our city. Resident participation in these efforts can make a difference, a significant difference, and impact on reducing crime, reducing drug distribution, and reducing drug use, and ultimately reducing violence, gun violence in our community. So whereas the city of Indianapolis commends the hard work of the communities across our Circle City, and it also commends the Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department for continuing to build police and community partnerships, now, therefore, I, Indy Mayor Joe, do hereby proudly proclaim August 3rd, 2021 as National Night Out Against Crime throughout the city of Indianapolis, and I ask all citizens to join me in this observation as I present this proclamation to our police chief, Randall Taylor. Chief.
This is kind of unfair. Try to speak English after you, sir. And thank you for being so patient with me, my accent. I try my best. Doesn't come out the way. It sounds much better in my head, believe me. Our Marion County prosecutor is committed to serving the people of the county. Through his experience, he has been able to provide leadership and to all members of his office and a balanced approach to criminal prosecution. Please welcome Prosecutor Ryan Meter.
Well, thank you very much for having me here, and it's truly an honor to be here in what is undoubtedly one of the best nights of the year, when we can all get together and be surrounded by people who all have a common purpose and a common goal, which is what can we do to try to make Marion County a safer and more fair place. And I have to thank the mayor, because everybody knows the mayor's in charge of the weather. Great job, Mr. Mayor. I think the weather's going to work out for us tonight. and so everybody can enjoy one another's company outdoors. One of the reasons I look forward to this night so much is because this truly is our opportunity to interact with the community and have those conversations with the community about what's going on. And I think it's also an incredibly important reminder to all of us who have the good fortune to have a position like prosecutor, mayor, chief of police, or sheriff, that we serve the community and that the community doesn't serve us. And it's important that we focus on that message of what can we do to try to help the community, and events like that reinforce that message. And I'm just so excited and so privileged to be in a room where all of us have the same goal and the same purpose. We might take different paths to get there, but we're all trying to get to the same place, and that's to make Marion County the safest, best city. And working together, I'm confident we'll be able to achieve that. Thank you.
Thank you, Prosecutor Mears. And the Sheriff's Office provides law enforcement services for the people of Indianapolis and Marion County. This includes managing the county jails and prisoners, 911 communications and an emergency dispatch center, securing all county government facilities, serving criminal warrants, enforcing court orders, and more. Please welcome Marion County Sheriff Kerry Forrestal. Thank you.
Thank you, and glad to be back at TAB because they also provide us their facility for our jail division Christmas party every year, so it's always great for them to do that. I appreciate everyone being here today. In particular, I don't want to bring people down, but it was kind of a bad story to read this morning. The number of bodies we have are too many to be in the morgue. Is that really what we want? I mean, that's not what we need. The mayor has given some leadership with the new criminal justice campus in partnership with IMPD, the U.S. attorneys. Law enforcement's doing its job, but people still show up in the morgue. Our friend Dr. Sloan, the coroner, has too many bodies. We can't have that be the message. I've been here over 38 years. I'm older than the front row. We've done National Night Out, and it's gleeful, and hopefully it is tonight, so that somebody doesn't shoot somebody tonight. We need positive messages out in the community and not more bodies in the morgue. And I'm sorry to bring people down on that, but I just saw a difficult story when you read, we're going to build a larger morgue. So let's work together so that we don't need to build anything larger than that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Acting United States Attorney for the Southern District of Indiana, John Childress, serves our community by representing the interest of the United States in litigation and community affairs related to law enforcement. His office works with federal, state, and local law enforcement agencies to protect and serve the people of Indianapolis. Please welcome Acting U.S. Attorney John Childress.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It is a real pleasure to be here with you today. A pleasure to be with Mayor Hogsett, Prosecutor Mears, Sheriff Forrestal, and Chief Taylor, but it is especially a pleasure to be here with the honorees that we'll hear about later in the program. They are the real stars of the show, and I say that because they know in their heart and they act with their muscle toward the goals that bring us together here today. And that is to be in relationship with the people they serve. I think it's entirely appropriate that we are here hosted in a religious building because that reminds me of the aspect of being in relationship with people. And when you are in relationship with people, I think you recognize commonalities. And we all here today know, and we will express later on today, those basic commonalities of everyone who lives in this city. We want to raise our children and our families in peaceful and prosperous neighborhoods. We want to know and grow with our neighbors, and we want to help those who need our help. So it's my hope that we hold on to those sentiments, not just today, but tomorrow and the day after that and the day after that. And it's also my hope that if I don't know you, that we have the chance to chat today. Thank you.
Thank you, U.S. Attorney Childress. And before I keep chopping names, just imagine that this is how your name would sound if you were being interviewed in Telemundo or Univision. So, you see, it's good. Our next speaker believes that IMPD districts are the heart and soul for the crime prevention and safety through community policing and engagement. He has the community support and provides excellent leadership to IMPD every day. He is committed to making Indianapolis a safer place to work, to live, and raise a family. Last but certainly not least, please welcome our IMPD Chief, Randall Taylor.
I don't know where I need to send that check to, but thank you for that introduction. 38 years, how incredible is that? 38 years of celebrating what we know is a fantastic endeavor for Indianapolis, and not just Indianapolis, but nationwide. I've been at a number of these, and I'm always in awe of the citizens that step up, those who have decided to become the beacons of light to Indianapolis, and really an encouragement to our law enforcement officers. Whether you work for IMPD or the Sheriff's Department or one of our federal partners or state partners, it is an encouragement that you have stepped up and really taken the challenge to make Indianapolis a safer place. Honestly, I'm in awe, really. You step up and you say, along with law enforcement, that some of the things that are going on in our community are wrong. And you say that loudly. And we need it. Because as we look at what's going on in Indianapolis, you might be tempted to say, this is a dark time for Indianapolis. But it's not as dark when people are stepping up, when people are making sure that people are being held accountable for what they're doing. Now, I appreciate our law enforcement officers across the board for the work they do day in and day out. But I certainly do appreciate the citizens that take time out to make sure that this city is safe and moving in the right direction. With those kind of attempts, with that kind of desire, with that kind of attitude, I'm confident that Indianapolis will get to where we want it to be. Now, it will be a struggle, and we know that, because people more and more, and not just in Indianapolis, but nationwide, are choosing to solve issues with guns. And we all know that is ridiculous. It's crazy, really. We've got to find ways to help those people out, to get them off that. We've got to be able to change those minds and hearts of people who are willing to commit violence for really no good reason. I believe we'll have success in that. But I believe it's going to take time and effort and partnerships to make those things happen. Today we're honoring those of you who have risen to the top. And we thank you for that. We truly do. And I'm not going to take up any more time because I know there's going to be individual district commanders and the prosecutor's office that have reviewed different scenarios, different things that have brought you to the forefront, and we want to get to those and hear those. But just let me say from the IMPD staff and our personnel, thank you. Thank you so much for what you've been willing to do. We look forward to working with you in the future and making Indianapolis the best and safest place that it can be. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Taylor. We'll also like to extend a special thanks to Deputy Mayor Judy Thomas, Chief Deputy U.S. Marshal Joshua Schimmel, and city county councilors and mayor's neighborhood advocates, and to all other city agencies, representatives, and friends for joining us here today at our 38th National Night Out Kickoff celebration, and especially to my fellow crime watch specialists in each district. We've been beating this horse for, I've been here already 10 years. And each community I get to visit outside North, they only have excellent things to say about each one of you. And I just hope that someone here in North says something good about me. So, thank you. But we do this from the heart. So now let's get started with the presentation of the awards. And if I could have Prosecutor Mears and the representative from the Horizon House, please come forward. Thank you.
Well, we are incredibly grateful for the partnerships that we have, not only with law enforcement, but our friends in the community. And so during the course of the pandemic, I think one of the things that all of us realized was that this was going to have consequences on a number of different segments of our community. And in particular, we saw an uptick in individuals who found themselves to be homeless. And the question was, how can the Marion County Prosecutor's Office respond to help address this issue of housing, and what can we do to be part of the solution to this very challenging issue? And so one of the things that we did was we started our quality of life unit, who works very closely with IMPD's homelessness unit. And I can't say enough great things about Commander Burton and the leadership that he provides on this issue, and really work together to try to figure out what can our quality of life unit do to help identify individuals whose crime is driven by their homelessness, and then what role can we play to help people out. Our overall goal and philosophy is we're not necessarily looking to punish someone because they're poor. What can we do to help change behavior so we don't see this individual again? But we very quickly realized that we're not going to be able to do this alone, and we needed to have outstanding community partners, which we do with Horizon House. And the way this works is we approached them, and we became aware of the just incredible services that they were able to offer and provide to people who were homeless, who didn't have housing, in terms of giving people a mailing address, help them with meaningful support services where they could help people get a driver's license, figure out their Social Security, make sure they get to their substance use appointments, all of the types of things that will help break that cycle of homelessness, and also, most importantly, help individuals secure housing as they try to get out of that vicious cycle of poverty. And so we feel incredibly fortunate and grateful that we were able to have this partnership with Horizon House. So on behalf of everybody at the Marion County Prosecutor's Office, and hopefully on behalf of everybody in our community, let's give it up to our friends at Horizon House.
Well, thank you, Prosecutor Mears, and to all of you in the audience. My name is Teresa Wessel. I'm the Executive Director at Horizon House, and we are so grateful for this partnership with the Marion County Prosecutor's Office, the Quality of Life Program, to be able to work side by side, helping each of our homeless neighbors take one step closer to their stable income and stable housing, and really to be part of this community, to thrive in this community is our whole goal. We recently were also have partnered with the prosecutor's office with another program with the Vera Institute, and so really looking at the racial disparities. So trying to take this to another level is just really incredible. And so we're very honored and very proud to be working side by side with the prosecutor's office. I also want to say thank you to all the law enforcement officers here for what you do each and every day in keeping us safe and protecting us and all of those in our community. So my thanks to you, as well as congratulations to the other honorees. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have the Downtown District Captain Scott Hessong, and Community Relations Sergeant Kim Evans, and the CRU unit, and their Crime Fighter of the Year, Mr. Dennis Erpelding.
Good afternoon. The downtown Indianapolis Watermark community is at the intersection of the Canal Walk and the Cultural Trail. This beautiful neighborhood is home to many residents who enjoy the amenities that living in beautiful downtown Indianapolis and the vibrant canal waterway offers. Running, walking, pedal boats, dog walking, cycling, and so much more can be found in this active canal community. IMPD relies heavily on police-community partnerships to create and maintain safe neighborhoods. Officers began receiving calls for service throughout the middle of the night in this quiet canal community. The calls were ranging from large groups of unattended youth fighting, shots fired, and disturbances among individuals. Dennis Aperding, Watermark Community President, immediately went to work alongside IMPD, gathering neighbors to raise awareness, working alongside investigative units to provide feedback, and working closely with Downtown District Commander Phil Burton and Sergeant Evans in Community Relations on problem solving and solutions. The Watermark community had Blink cameras installed in their residential community, which allows IMPD to leverage video camera technology to view footage of activity occurring in the Watermark community. In addition, Dennis helped raise awareness about relay and the importance of homeowners calling police every time to report suspicious activity or persons. Dennis is also an active member of the Downtown District CRDC Council and networks well with other community members for the betterment of everyone who works, lives, and visits downtown Indianapolis. He volunteers much of his personal time to his community because he truly cares for his fellow neighbor. Dennis takes pride in the community where he lives, and you can always count on him to show up and support a community function and police function. His consistent communications, feedback, and the ability to bring people together diplomatically to problem solve is commendable. Dennis is very open-minded and ensures that every person's voice is heard. The Downtown District is so grateful to Dennis for his endless support, integrity, and willingness to always help his fellow neighbors. It is for these reasons Dennis is named the Downtown District Crime Fighter of the Year for 2021.
Next, we have North District Commander Michael Woolley and North District Community Relations Unit, and our Crime Fighter of the Year, Mr. Jay Bobian from Castle Cove. Unfortunately, Jay is home recovering from a surgical procedure, spine surgery, and however, two of Castle Cove's Crime Watch block captains, Miss Sharon Johnson and Miss Jane Walter, along with we have more block captains from Castle Cove. They came here to accept the Crime Fighter of the Year award in his behalf.
Good afternoon, I'm Commander Michael Wally. I'm happy and bring with much pride the opportunity to explain why Mr. Jay Bobian was selected as the North District Crime Fighter of the Year. Mr. Jay Bobian grew up with strong, loving, and devoted parents. His mother was a minister and a printer. His father was a minister and a printer, and his mother was a homemaker and substitute teacher. Mr. Bobian is one of 4 children, later to be known as the Bobian Four. There might be a more interesting story about this, but he declined to let us know why they were called the Bobian Four. Their mother taught them to sing in their early years, so they grew up singing in churches, schools, talent contests, and baseball games, along with television. Jay grew up in Baltimore, Maryland. He was active in scouting, church activities, and doing his chores at home. He also worked hard in high school representing the Dundalk Senior High, as well as a student, a choir member, and an athlete on the track team. Upon graduation from high school, he attended Morgan State University, where he earned a Bachelor's of Science degree in mathematics. In 1965, he married his high school sweetheart, Eleanor, and have been happily married ever since. That's more than 55 years. They have 2 children and 1 granddog. After graduating from college, Jay spent several years working at Westinghouse in Baltimore, Maryland, as a computer programmer. He was later promoted to an information technology management position in Ohio. While in Ohio, the Bobians served the community as foster parents. Jay also worked with other parents to develop a private track club called the Northern Ohio Wings. He developed, along with other local professionals, a program that opened doors for kids to have opportunities for growth and fun. They assisted children with homework, offered counsel, and planned activities including talent shows, writing contests, and dances. As you can tell, he was talented. In 2005, Jay and his wife decided to relocate to Indianapolis to be with his family, finding a home in Castle Cove, and moved to Indianapolis soon after. Jay found out that Castle Cove had an active homeowners association, and being Jay Bobian, he did not miss the opportunity to help. After being a resident for over a year, he was elected to be on the Castle Cove Neighborhood Association Board, and his first assignment was to find an alternative to paying a security company to patrol their neighborhood. The solution he offered: implementing a neighborhood crime watch program in Castle Cove. He met with Joe Kamita and other crime watch leaders in the area and learned what they were doing in this realm. Then he went to work putting his pieces together for the Castle Cove Crime Watch program. He mapped the neighborhood into blocks and defined the block captain's responsibilities, then went knocking on doors recruiting volunteers for block captains. In his own words, we have been fortunate to have a great group of captains. They are the real force and reason for our program to be successful in our community. Jay is currently a real estate broker affiliated with FC Tucker Company and loves assisting people and making sure their home buying and selling experiences are effortless and pleasant as they could be. He enjoys spending time with his family and sharing adventures with their dog. It has become the norm to see him walking on Castle Cove streets with his dog. On Sundays, you will usually find the Bobians worshiping in Castleton United Methodist Church. Jay has been trying to learn Spanish, and if he ever retires, you will probably find him doing an assortment of woodworking projects and still volunteering his time in different community initiatives. Through his honest work and engagement with the community, Mr. Jay Bobian has effectively contributed to make North District community safer while maintaining and supporting a consistent and positive relationship with IMPD. These are only a few of the reasons why we are proud to present Mr. Jay Bobian of Castle Cove Crime Watch with the IMPD North District's 2021 Crime Fighter of the Year Award. We're going in this together.
And if you look at those pictures with attention later, you'll notice that North District is really diverse. I don't know if you noticed that. Next, we have Northwest District Commander Lorenzo Lewis and Northwest District Community Relations Unit, and their Crime Fighter of the Year, Sandy Frohire.
Up here. I'm always deeply humbled and feel very privileged to do these things, honor our community, and it's real important. I think it's very important that we reinforce through praise the things that we want to see more of done. And we do it with our officers. Just recently done it with my officers, and I think equally important is that we do it for our community. And Sandy Frauheiger is the epitome of being the change that she wants to see. And so I'll read why she's here today and why we're here, and so humbled and privileged to honor her. Sandy and her husband Todd have lived in Pike Township for 30 years. After 27 years at a sales and distribution company, Sandy retired and transitioned as president of the Branch Creek Homeowners Association. Is that truly retirement?
I'm retired, but working harder than ever.
I know you. Having a sincere desire to give back to the community, Sandy became immersed in ways to improve the aesthetics and safety of her community. In 2018, Sandy, along with co-founder Matt Hintz, reached out to IMPD in hopes of starting a crime watch. The Branch Creek neighborhood consists of 120 homes, and 50 of these residents came out for the first crime watch meeting. That's awesome. Subsequently, 16 residents became block captains. Oh man. Sandy dedicated a lot of time in communicating and marketing to ensure buy-in from the residents. The Branch Creek Homeowners Association held their first national night out in 2019 and were thrilled to host over 100 attendees. Sandy dedicated her spare time to attending and networking throughout the IMPD neighborhood. She shares the information and knowledge gained with other residents via social media outlets such as Nextdoor, Facebook, and email. During her tenure as a Branch Creek Crime Watch and Homeowners Association president, Sandy has been instrumental in the following improvements. Installation of additional streetlights in the 7900 block of Payne Road. That's a true achievement. Repairs of neighborhood sidewalks is a safety precaution for residents and their children. Very important. Partner with the Girl Scouts of America to enhance the neighborhood parks. Partner with Keep Indianapolis Beautiful KIB for landscaping purposes and tree planting at 79th and Payne Road. These are just a few examples of Sandy's exemplary work. Sandy leads by example. Her diligence and tenacity has helped to increase homeowner satisfaction by addressing quality of life issues. Sandy, along with a host of supporters and volunteers, are most proud of the fact that there has been a decrease in criminal activity in their neighborhood. That's true. It is my privilege and honor to present Sandy Frauheiger as the Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department Northwest District Crime Fighter of the Year for 2021. 2020.
All right. Next, we have Southwest District Commander Tanya Terry and Crime Watch Specialist Paula Barnes and CRU units, and their Crime Fighter of the Year, Miss Kelly Ivy.
All right, everybody's here. I'm Tanya Terry, the commander of Southwest District. I've been there for 2 months now. And in that 2 months, I have had the pleasure of getting to know Kelly Ivy in that short amount of time. And I have been completely impressed and honored to get to know her. And I'm really excited to continue working with her as we both move forward on Southwest District. I'm going to go ahead and read the nomination and write-up to tell you all about Kelly. It is with great honor and pleasure for the Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department to recognize Kelly Ivy as the 2021 Crime Fighter of the Year for Southwest District. Kelly is not only a pillar of the community, but also a key leader against drug addiction in Decatur Township. She spends countless hours every week working to reduce drug use among youth and educate the community to create a safer place to live for Decatur residents. Kelly has lived in Decatur Township her entire life and is a graduate of the Decatur Central High School. She later married her husband, Don Ivy, and raised their children, Donnie and Morgan, in Decatur Township. I'm also pleased to announce that last week she became a grandma to their new grandson, Emmett, and she's really enjoying that new role as grandma. In 2016, Kelly lost her niece to a drug overdose that forever altered her life. Kelly became passionate about the work of the Decatur Township Drug-Free Coalition, whose mission is to prevent and reduce drug use among our youth. Kelly started an annual 5K run in honor of her niece to raise awareness of the opioid crisis in our community. Over the past 4 years, the run attracted approximately 600 participants and raised nearly $24,000 for the cause. Kelly and her family donated the funds to the Decatur Township Drug-Free Coalition and the Higher Ground, which is an organization dedicated to women's addiction treatment. In 2019, Kelly accepted the Decatur Township Drug-Free Coalition Coordinator position. In 2020, Kelly was later titled the Decatur Township Drug-Free Coalition Executive Director. She is also the Chair of Programs for the Goodwin Center in Decatur Township. This year, in 2021, Kelly volunteered for additional roles within her community. Kelly started the Roberts Creek Crime Watch and agreed to chair our Southwest District Community Resource District Council position. Kelly is working with other Southwest District neighborhood associations and key volunteers to create a youth program to foster relationships between our youth and IMPD. The civic duty and dedication Kelly has demonstrated for this community should be applauded. She has worked to save lives from addiction and improve the quality of life for youth and community members in Decatur Township. Kelly has strengthened community relationships with the police department and other government agencies through her efforts. The volunteerism and dedication of Kelly Ivy made a positive impact on social issues and reduced crime within Decatur. IMPD is honored to consider Kelly Ivy a partner and a friend. It is our honor, and with great distinction and appreciation, to name Kelly Ivy as the 2021 Crime Fighter of the Year for Southwest District.
Thank you.
Next, we have Southeast District Commander Ron Hicks and Crime Watch Specialist Ann Westrop, CRU Unit, and their Crime Fighter of the Year, Mr. Jay Height.
Well, unfortunately, I've got the same problem North District had. Jay is actually sick and is in the hospital with pneumonia. So we keep Jay in our prayers, otherwise he would be here. And I feel really horrible for him because he's so deserving of this award that I hate that he misses out on this ceremony. But we're still going to honor him for the great work that he does. So here's his citation. In 1995, Reverend Jay and Jane Height moved to Indianapolis to serve at Shepherd Community Center. They have lived, worked, and worshiped in the 46201 and 46203 zip codes for the last 26 years. They raised their 3 children to live like they live, relationally. and on a mission to break cycles of poverty on the Near East Side of Indianapolis. Jay's the executive director at Shepherd Community Center, and he and his team have worked tirelessly to serve children, families, and neighbors. Jay is a true inspiration. I'm proud to call him my friend. Many of you here today are familiar with the transformative work being done by Jay and Shepherd at Shepherd Community Center. Their mission to break the cycle of poverty is done by engaging and empowering the community. This engagement quite literally spans from birth to adulthood and covers everything from preschool, after school and summer programming for kids, job training, food security, housing, legal and mental services, mentoring, and much more. They do a lot because the critical needs and issues surrounding generational poverty are complex and far-reaching. In his quest to achieve his goals, Jay has collaborated and participated with multiple public and private organizations, not-for-profit groups, churches, and businesses. One example of the collaboration that Jay sponsors is the Shalom Project. Through this program, Shepherd, IMPD, IMS, and multiple organizations work together to provide numerous services in the neighborhoods just north and just south of the East Washington Street corridor. It's a very successful program that's helped many in need. Jay's also partnered with Southeast District for many years on multiple projects. One such endeavor is our annual Breakfast with Santa. At this event, children and their families receive breakfast prepared by officers, a visit from Santa, they receive a professional photo, and a nice Christmas gift. Even last year, when so many things were canceled due to the COVID-19 pandemic, this tradition continued. We had to make some adjustments due to the pandemic, but Jay and my Southeast District team felt like it was very important, maybe more so than ever, to still have that Breakfast with Santa last year. Quite frankly, a lot of the kids that come through there would not receive a gift if not for that program because their families simply don't have money for gifts. In response to the pandemic, Jay and Shepherd also provided home learning for students. They increased their food distribution because food insecurity skyrocketed with the pandemic and the fact that parents weren't able to work. Jay and Shepherd recognize the need for multiple program services and a continuum of care to break the cycle of poverty. IMPD shares a similar approach to combat crime and improve the quality of life in our neighborhoods. It's a holistic approach focusing resources to address the root causes, not just the symptoms of crime. Police cannot reduce crime on our own, and we need great partners like Jay and Shepherd to help us along the way. Despite the additional challenges brought on by the pandemic, Jay and Shepherd continue to serve and support their neighbors, which is no surprise to me. I first met Jay in 1998 when I was a newly appointed or promoted sergeant on East District. I could tell from the first moment I met Jay that he was very passionate about helping his community and helping his neighbors. And here, 20 plus years later, if you ever talk to Jay, and I know a lot of folks in the room know Jay, you still see that passion in him on a daily basis. He can't seem to do enough or give enough of himself for his community, and it's just super admirable to see that on a daily basis. Jay is also extremely supportive of the IMPD and our officers. Jay is always asking me what he can do to help us. From improving our work environment to serving our emotional and spiritual needs, Jay's always eager to help us. On a personal note, I want to thank him because he frequently, probably 2 or 3 times a week, sends me and Commander Riddle inspirational Bible verses, prayers, all kinds of things. And I know it helps to keep me motivated to do good work for our officers and our community. So I know Rick feels the same way, so I'm very appreciative for Jay for that. So it's one thing to talk about what our great community members do for us on a daily basis and the impact that they have on folks' lives. But I actually have a living example here with us today to kind of prove some of what I'm talking about today. And that example is in the form of Officer Joe Sims. Joe Sims is one of my middle shift officers, and Joe came through Shepherd Community. As Jay would call him, Officer Sims is a Shepherd kid. Officer Sims went through many of those programs, and I think I'll speak for you for a minute, Officer Sims. He'll tell you that they had a profound impact on his life growing up here in Indianapolis, and if not for Jay and Shepard, Officer Sims may not be the man he is today. A husband, a friend, and an exceptional police officer that works hard every day, doing a great job for the citizens of Indianapolis. So, yeah. And again, I really feel bad because I know Jay would take great pride in this because we've had this conversation. And just to, as an example of some of the lessons that you learn at Shepard, Officer Sims has not forgotten where he came from. He still goes over to Shepard and helps them out on a routine basis. I recently went over there to visit with Jay on another matter, and I caught Officer Sims in a room mentoring and talking to students at the school at Shepard, helping them along the way. Also, earlier this summer, him and his wife provided and purchased meals for all the students that went on a field trip to the Indianapolis Zoo. So thank you, Officer Sims, for the good things that you're doing and for carrying that forward. And I wanted him to be here today in particular so folks could see the things that Shepard and other organizations throughout our community do on a regular basis. Here's a kid that grew up in a kind of a tough neighborhood and in a tough spot, and now he wears an IMPD uniform and comes out and serves our community on a regular basis. And so for that and all the things that Jay and his folks at Shepard do, it's my honor and privilege to announce him as the Southeast District 2021 Crime Fighter of the Year. We're actually going to give this to Officer Sims, and then we'll make a trip over to Shepard when Jay's feeling better and give him his award. Also want to acknowledge my good team. I've got the greatest team in the city, probably. I know the other commanders would not appreciate me saying that, but I've got the mic right now, so I'll say it.
And for our final presentation, we have his district, Commander Richard Riddle, and Crime Watch Specialist, my friend Steve Talley, and CRU unit, and their Crime Fighter of the Year, Mr. and Mrs. Frank and Dottie Morton.
So it'll be cool. Am I supposed to wear the shades or? I don't know. I think our policy won't let me do it, but I think we'll get away with it for today. It's all right. So I think it's only appropriate that the best district on IMPD gets to go last. Because I'm at the mic last, I get to say what I want, so I appreciate that. But there's a lot of pressure because I stand between you and lunch. So I get to breeze through this, but also I want to say I appreciate our media partners being here today. It really means a lot. I will say this, I'm going to ask for a favor. I was in the PI office for 3 years, and I did a lot of favors for the media out there, and I'm going to call one back. So too many times in the news media this year, IMPD has led the story. If it bleeds, it leads. The city of Indianapolis is used, IMPD is used, policing is used, the prosecutor's office is used. And I want to say this, I would appreciate, and I think all of us sitting up here would appreciate the lead story being the good works that are going on in this city, rather than just the violence. I think too many times the good work that's going on in this city is overshadowed by the very few that choose to act selfishly and act in ways that are inappropriate for a city of not only our size but our stature. So enough of that, I will move on. On behalf of East District, the best district on IMPD, during the pandemic there were a number of restrictions put in place, such as wearing a mask, remaining socially distanced, and stay-at-home orders. All of these safety precautions were an attempt to stop the spread of the COVID-19 virus. As you know, this created new challenges along with uncertainty, especially when it came to coming together to socialize, work, volunteer, and so much more. Despite these restrictions and challenges, there was still a need for individuals who wanted to pursue a sense of community while affecting change in their neighborhoods. This is where Frank and Dory Morton come in. Frank and Dory Morton have been longtime residents of the East Side and are the co-presidents of the Brookside Neighborhood Association. Frank and Dory Morton took steps to keep their crusade of improving the quality of life for the citizens of Indianapolis, specifically for the members of their community. They demonstrated this by helping neighborhood children with science projects to expand their minds and horizons. Frank and Dory organized kickball games during the week for the neighborhood children when COVID-19 restrictions were lifted. The Mortons donated hats and gloves during the winter months, which helped several citizens stay warm. Frank and Dory Morton were always thinking of innovative ways to bridge the gap between the police and the community. They also donated umbrellas to IMPD East District so officers would have the opportunity to pass them out to citizens who were in need. Throughout the COVID-19 shutdown, when so many stopped helping others, Frank and Dory Morton continued reaching out to the community the best way they could. They continued reaching out through email to people in the neighborhood to ensure the members of their neighborhood could still voice various complaints and concerns. Frank and Dory Morton did not allow any COVID-19 restriction to stop their quest to improve their community. This is why East District is honored to recognize Frank and Dory Morton as East District Crime Fighters of the Year.
Thank you. I don't know if you noticed, but each one of the crime fighters tonight had something in common. They all do a lot for the kids in their communities. And I think that along with education, this is completely out of the script, and it's my personal opinion. I think that along with education is the key to break the cycle. And I actually use this as in my signature in my emails. It's a phrase I heard a long time ago, that it is easier to build up a child than it is to repair an adult. So I think we are heading the right way. And also, as the commander was saying, we listen a lot, or read news. Everything is so bad in Indianapolis. And then I get the chance to go back to my community meetings in the afternoon, and then everything feels good because we're doing the right thing. And someone asked me the other day, Indianapolis is going down the drain, and said, actually not. But what happens is shots, bombs, all those are extremely loud. But for each bomb and each shot, there are hundreds and thousands of people, like the people I meet every day in my community meetings, doing those little things, helping the neighbor, helping the child, being a good father, good mother, good son, good daughter, but those go silent. That goes silent. But it's happening. So I still believe we're heading the right way. I heard someone once said, crime is sexy. You have to watch movies on TV, but reality is sexier, and we're doing that day in and day out. Now, if we can please have a round of applause for all the Crime Fighter of the Year recipients. And also, I would like to take a moment before we head to the food to personally thank Reverend John Gable, senior pastor here at Tap Church, Reverend Terry Thorne, who has been absolutely fantastic with us here at Tap Church, and of course the Tap Church family for showing their love and their support to the community, not only here, and also to IMPD and everything we do, and by hosting today's program in their welcoming house of faith. Most of all, on behalf of IMPD, I want to thank the community, because without you, our jobs will be impossible, will be senseless. And now as we go back to our communities and the communities we're visiting to celebrate the 2021 National Night Out, please enjoy your family, friends, neighbors, and let the spirit of this afternoon carry on throughout the entire year by working together, making Indianapolis a better and safer place to live. And again, congratulations to all the crime fighter recipients of the year, and thank you all for coming. And as a reminder, all guests are welcome to join us for food. We would like to give a special thanks to Domino's Pizza, Jimmy John's, and the Indy Public Safety Foundation for providing refreshments this afternoon. And now I would like to invite Chaplain Orlando Jordan to come forward for the benediction and bless the food. Thank you.
If you join me in prayer. Most holy and gracious God, we thank you for all the honorees today. We thank you for those that have allowed their lights to shine in a seemingly dark world, showing an example to those that everyone doing their part can help make our city better. Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for what it represents, National Night Out. After months of isolation, we thank you for a moment where we can all come together and celebrate the goodness of our city. Father, we ask that you would continue to bless Indianapolis, that you continue to bless all of our first responders, that you continue to be in every community, that you would continue to keep your hand of mercy and grace upon us all. Father, we thank you for all that you do and all that you will do. It's in your name that we pray. Amen.